Hi guys, I can't believe I made it here today. If you only knew the day I had already. I had a catering to do for Melser Tile, and I have to say they're a wonderful family-owned business here in Charleston. Obviously, they're in the tile business, and I have been doing catering for them for years. So when they asked me to do one, I was absolutely happy to help them out. But if you know Charleston, you will know that the traffic is so bad. So I was literally sitting on the I for like 20 minutes with all this hot food in my car, and it just made my whole car smell so good. It just, everything in there. I had chicken parm, I had so much stuff. So anyway, today we are also going to be making a great dish. We're going to be making chicken Ciara. So chicken Ciara has a little bit of a backstory to it, which I love. I went to Rhode Island a few years ago, and it was my first time there, and I know it's known for the quahogs and the stuffies and lobster, but it also is known for really good Italian. So if you've ever been to Federal Hill, that's like their little Italy. My friends actually own a restaurant there. It was called Ciara's, and I went, and this was their signature dish there. It was so delicious. Hello, Joan. I actually made it. I was running around like crazy today. I had 2 seconds to spare. So I said, you know what? I love reaching out with you guys and doing the videos. It's like a highlight of my day. So I'm always so happy. I hope you're doing well, girl. So anyway, chicken Ciara is one of the things that I put on the menu from their restaurant. So if you ever, well, I was going to say if you ever in Rhode Island, go there, but they actually closed a few years ago on their own free will. It wasn't, any problems or anything like that. They just got really busy. So hi, Denise. Now, Denise lives in Rhode Island, so she knows the restaurant that I was talking about. So it was a really, really wonderful place. Anyway, I want to show you what I brought from there. This is called chicken Ciara, and it's a great dish. It's on our menu at the restaurant. Everybody orders it. Come here, Pep. Here. He is, I just got home, so I just let him out. And now, of course, Pepe has FOMO, fear of missing out. Anytime I'm in the kitchen, he thinks he's going to miss out on food. Okay, easy recipe. I'm going to start here because you know what? The other day, I made some pasta dish, and I had a whole bunch of pasta left over. So I just kept it. I put it aside, and I said, surely I can use this for something else. So today's the day. So it's already cooked, which is even easier. If you know that, guys, like if you're just cooking for 2 people and you have a big box of pasta, cook the whole thing, put it in the refrigerator. This way you never know what you're going to, use it for another day. And I'm just going to go ahead. I have, if you can't see, I have like my saute pan right here. I'm going to flip this just a tiny bit. Hi, Jen. How are you? How are you guys? Oh, I'm so happy to see everybody on here. I finally get to say hello. Okay, so I'm going to go around a couple turns with the olive oil because that's how we're going to saute these chickens. Now, this is actually chicken that I had left over in a little bag here. Put them in the refrigerator and keep them. And now it's up to us what we want to do with it. Either we can make them whole breast like we do at the restaurant, or we can dice them. And I'm going to dice them because I like to, with the rigatoni, I like to be able to put everything on the fork like at one time and eat it together like that. At the restaurant, we serve it with linguine. So what I'm going to do, since I've decided I'm going to dice my chicken, I'm going to get a different cutting board because this is like a wood one, and it's not good to cut chicken on wood because it seeps down into there. So just 1 second, let me get a plastic one that I have. All right, so I feel better cutting on this one because, I could put it in the dishwasher. I can bleach it. It's just so much better. Okay, so here we go. I have 3 chicken breasts left over. These are the thin cut ones. And anytime you play with chicken, you got to be careful. I just, I really skeeve raw chicken, but, I'm going to do. Sue, I'm glad you're watching this because this was a recipe that I got from Johnston, Ciara, up in when I visited with you guys. It was a dish on their menu, and I absolutely loved it. And so I asked them, actually a gentleman named Stephen Catanzaro, he actually taught me how to make it. So I said, do you mind if I bring it to my restaurant? And he said no. So they've been to the restaurant, Wendy, Mike, Steven, his wife, like they've all been to visit. And so they saw their dish on the menu. Okay, so like I said, I'm dicing it. It's traditionally, the way they have it was one whole piece of chicken breast. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in my pan here so we can start to saute this up. And yes, I have my buddy here. He's at the bottom of my feet. He is already wanting food. I was out of the house for an hour and he misses me terribly. He just misses the food. Okay, so we're dicing all this chicken up. If you want to leave it whole, that is definitely your option. And if you get them like this now, like they're already thinly pounded, and then most of the fat is all trimmed off of them already, so it really is making life easier for us. There we go, and I'm just going to dice this up in bite-sized pieces because, you know, when you eat it with the rigatoni, you don't want to have like these big, huge chunks. So that's why I like it diced with the rigatoni. Okay, so we've got our chicken. Okay, I'm going to take that and that, and I'm just going to stir this around for a minute. You're going to be surprised at what little ingredients are in this dish. Okay, let me just put this in the sink. I'm going to wash my hands. Probably turn it a little bit for you guys if you want to watch me wash my hands. This is the other side of my kitchen, you guys. I'm going to see mud. So I have this dessert tray here that I always have. And I continuously fill it with treats for my son and stuff. Like today I have brownies in it. I made brownies yesterday. So he's like, Mom, you know, you're making me fat. It's ridiculous. So, but it's what I like to do. You know, it keeps everybody happy. And now I'm also going to bring the dog in. So this has been one of those days for me, guys. So come on in, Gracie. Hello, how are you today? And there's Pepe. So we can say hello to both of them. And now they will sit at my feet because they know I'm cooking and there's food to be had. Okay. For cooking. All right, so we have our chicken going in here and it's sauteing up. And I'm just going to season it here with a little salt and pepper. There's not much to this. The flavor's all going to come from the wine and the lemon that we're going to put with it. There we go. Okay, so we did that. And the other ingredient that we're going to put with it is sun-dried tomatoes. I love sun-dried tomatoes. I love them in any dish. I love to just take them out of the jar and eat them like this. I love anything about it. So these are the kind that you get already like in the produce section, or sometimes they're in like the other like Italian section. And these are julienne cut, which means they're already cut tiny for you. You don't have to have them that way. You could get them and then cut them up. Again, bite-sized pieces. I'm actually putting some of the oil in there because it's great flavor. I adore sun-dried tomatoes. If you don't, this probably is not the dish for you because if you take them out, it's not the same. Okay, I will put the recipe up, you know, after we're done here. This way everybody knows how much I just dumped in. And it, you know, a dish like this is kind of hard for me because at the restaurant we make one individual dish at a time. So we just put a handful of this and a handful of that. You know, we don't ever really measure anything out. So to make it like a dish like this is going to take a little time for me. I did make it the other day for my husband and son though, so I do have the measurements all played out. It already smells so good, like so good. It's delicious. Okay, so while this is cooking down, what I want to do is I want to take some white wine. And you can take any, this is a Pinot Grigio, it's like middle of the road. You know, if you're going to drink with it, cook with it. If you wouldn't drink it, don't cook with it. That's rule of thumb. All right, so I'm going to say it's going to be a cup. I'm going to go with a cup of white wine here. And that's my cup anyway. I have a big cup. Okay, so we're going to turn this up. So now with the white wine, what we're gonna do is where the chicken had like stuck to the pan, we can like get those little bits off, and that's called deglazing, and there's a lot of flavor in there. So we can get all of that out. And what we wanna do, we wanna cook this dish until the chicken is done, because it's not gonna go in the oven, so we're not recooking it again. This is it. This is the time to make sure everything's cooked through, and it's going to continue because we're gonna add a couple more things to this. Now, the dish in Rhode Island had red peppers in it, and I don't put the red peppers in it. I love them, but I didn't like them with the sun-dried tomatoes, so if you like red peppers, you could put them in it also. And now I'm gonna take like a lemon, and this is gonna give it that fresh taste that everybody loves so much. Whenever you have white wine, you can always put lemon with it. And it always brightens up your dishes and gives it like that extra little zest of flavor. Cutting it in half, going to put it down in my lemon squeezer, and I'm going to use the whole lemon because this is going to be a pretty big pot of pasta. And I'm going to say this will feed 4 people. So even though it's only a half of a box of pasta, it's still going to feed 4 people because we have all the chicken in here and the sun-dried tomatoes, and we're using rigatoni because we cut it, but again, at the restaurant, we use linguine. I know a lot of people have had it. They love this dish. It's like a favorite of everybody's. You want a tomato, Pep? Here, tomato for him. Make him happy. All right, so we have our white wine cooking down in here. And we have our lemon juice, the sun-dried tomatoes, and the chicken. I can already tell the chicken's like already cooked through. I diced them small, which is nice. Now, next I'm gonna put in some spinach. This is already washed, this kind that you get in a bag. So we're gonna put a nice big handful because when you put spinach in, this kind of like shrinks down. So people automatically are like, oh my God, that's a lot of spinach, but it's gonna cook down, trust me. You want some spinach? Here. Let's see if Pepe eats spinach. He's eating it. There isn't too much he doesn't eat. It's wonderful. Okay, and we're just gonna get this going, and basically the spinach is just gonna wilt down. That's all it's gonna do. And now we're gonna put in some heavy cream, and this is where this dish just gets kicked up. It's like a little bit of an extra flavor enhancer here. We're gonna put the heavy cream in here. And I know you're probably like, oh my God, this is a lot of heavy. Now, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. So we're gonna increase the heat, because when you put a cream into it, you want it to simmer, because that's what thickens the sauce up, is the simmering process. So I have it here, I turn my heat up. Alrighty guys, this looks so good. I'm gonna see if I can take the camera and show you guys. This is it right here. Oh, it's telling me to rotate here. Okay, so this is it right here. So you see everything in this pot. The spinach, the chicken, the sun-dried tomatoes. It already smells like heaven, and I've just started with it. So I'm gonna leave that there for you guys to see. And then we're gonna add our pasta to it. Now my pasta's already cooked. If it wasn't, you know, rigatonis usually take between 8 to 10 minutes to cook. So you could have started them, you know, when you first started cutting, when you first heated up your pan, and it would all pretty much coincide together. But since I already had these, this is leftover meal. Can you believe it? This good dish is gonna be a leftover. Leftover chicken, leftover rigatoni. And you might have all these ingredients in your pantry already. You may not have sun-dried tomatoes. A lot of people like don't keep those around. I happen to love them. So I just snack on them all the time. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna dump now the rigatoni in here. Even a half a box still is a lot. They have a tendency to blow up, the rigatoni do. All right, so we're gonna stir this all in. It's simmering really good. It's getting nice and thick. And you know, I got up this morning, I was so hungry. I made myself like egg in a hole. I don't know if you guys know what egg in a hole is. It's like when you take the toast and you put it in the pan, and you put the hole in it, and then you put the egg in it and cook it that way. I was so hungry this morning that I made egg in a hole, but that was literally at like 6:45. So this is going to be a little bit of my lunch. Okay, so we have all of this. Now the final touches is we're going, oh my goodness, it's so delish. So delish. I smell everything. Okay, I'm going to get some Parmesan cheese out of the refrigerator for a minute. So sit tight while that cooks, and we're going to put some Parmesan cheese on this. I'm going to get out my microplaner because we're going to shred it over the top. So this is a really good tool to have. Pepe, keep everybody happy for a minute, baby. Yes, okay. He actually follows me to the refrigerator because he thinks he's missing out food from there, so it's incredible. Okay, I've got my Parmesan cheese that I keep. When you get down to this bottom part here, that hard rind that you don't want to use, cut that off and use it for soups. Throw it in a pot of soup the next time. Okay, I'm just going to add one more pinch of flavor, and that's going to be our Parmesan cheese here. Do you guys hear this? It is simmering away. And to me, you can never have too much cheese. So, and I know that at the restaurant people too, they actually take the tops off of the cheese shakers and pour it on. So people are cheese lovers, and myself included. Okay. Here, tomato, baby. Alrighty, it is done, guys. Here, turn this down. This dish is done. And look, it didn't even take us long. So the next time you have, a leftover pasta, keep it. If you have like just a couple pieces of chicken left, keep it. Put them all together. Put a veggie with it. Put some sun-dried tomatoes with it. Okay, I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on a little plate here. I got everything at my fingertips. It's probably not the best plate. You won't be able to see it, but we're going to try it anyway. Okay. Okay, I'm going to just get a little bit of chicken. This is off. It's all finished. I got a fork. I'm going to top it off with a little cheese. Oh my goodness. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at this. Look how good this looks. All right, I'm going to get a piece of the chicken and a rigatoni here. I'm going to try it. I'm going to burn my mouth. And let me try to get a sun-dried tomato on there as well. The lemon comes right through, and the sun-dried tomato with the cream sauce, it's just like very fresh dish. It's wonderful. I think even kids might like this, even though it's got the spinach and the sun-dried tomatoes, but it's definitely like a meal to make for like you and your husband or you and a partner. It's wonderful. And it took me maybe 15 minutes to make it, so. So good. Turn that off. It's done. Now I'll put it away for dinner time. Don't eat my microphone. I'm going to go. It's so nice having you guys here again with me. I just happened to make it. You are going to make it, Joan. You're going to make it this weekend. I know you are. You make all these great dishes and then you send them to me. And you add these little extra touches that are so beautiful. I love it. I'm going to say goodbye, Pepe. Goodbye from Pepe and I, guys. Have a wonderful weekend.